Okay guys, let's go for the Q3 and H2 reviews as well as the weekly review, what to look for July, because I think July will be a very good trading month and I'm going to show you why I think that. So let's start with the NQ. Now bear in mind Friday, first of all, Friday was a bank holiday. So if you are on futures charts, if you are trading futures, bear in mind that your futures chart Friday and Monday will be combined. So bear in mind that this candle here does not close in 2 days and 11 hours because Monday will be combined with Friday. So bear wary of that. But let's just say this was a daily candle. You can see we've created a daily fair value gap. Now, why is this important? Because if Monday taps into that daily fair value gap and gives me a reaction, I will trade that, even though the futures chart is showing one candle and maybe Tuesday will not show a daily fair value gap. Be careful. If you go on the CFD charts, they will definitely show a gap, and that Friday is a singular day. So either way, we have a daily fair value gap on the Nasdaq for Monday. What do we also have if we go on the lower time frame? A 4-hour order block. So I think that we will tap into that and then look for sells. Now, I should mention it if I go to the higher time frame. Let's go to micro NQ and go on the higher time frame. No, sorry, I already was on higher time frame NQ. Let's remove the drawing. What I want to mention is my bias, right, for the rest of Q3, or at least, is to take out 28,500, which is June low. And if we get a more reaction there, I want to look for 27,800 May's low. Those are super important key levels, okay? And we can already confirm that this high is in, this June high, because it closed as a PSP, and we have an SMT. How do we have an SMT and PSP? Because YM closed bullish the previous month and took out that previous month's high already in July. Now, July has only so far been 3 days of July, so we haven't really had a full week of July. But if you also look for this Friday candle, we did close bearish on YM. And if I go back to my NQ chart, we've closed as an intraday candle, right? So the high could be in already, right, for the month. Now, it's just important how we react of this 4-hour order block. So when we come onto Monday or Tuesday, I want us to take out this high and then I want to trade lower. Of course, there are these huge 4-hour gaps that, there's these huge 4-hour gaps that can cause issues in terms of tapping it or, just straight melting, right? We will have to see what happens. But either way, these are my drawn liquidities. We have 29,1765 and 28,500, like I mentioned before. Now, if this high has already been confirmed and I draw my standard deviation from all the way here to this low right here, let's have a look. Standard deviation left. Yeah, it's perfect because negative 2.5 is at those lows. So that looks super good. If I also draw the tool from here, this high created to this low, you can see negative 2.5 is aligning with 28,500. So I have everything telling me that that is my drawn liquidity. Now, how do we get there is the main thing. Now, let's say this sweep is holding because actually in relation, ES did not, we have a 2-stage SMT here as well. Look at this 25 June on Thursday on NQ and look at ES, I think. No, not ES. ES swept it. It must be YM. Yeah, so YM here, we have the 25th of June being swept now at the 1st of July, actually. Maybe, what am I saying? It's incorrect. No, they all swept it. So we've swept out this internal high, but we have an SMT between Tuesday and Wednesday, yeah? So we have this Tuesday and Wednesday being an SMT. And actually, let me just bring the indicator so I actually just see it so I don't confuse myself. So so here there was an SMT and SMT. So we have 2-stage SMT with this high and down here, right? So we can already confirm this high's in because firstly we inverted this daily fair value gap and we've created a bearish fair value gap. So honestly, there's nowhere price to go. We just should trade lower. Now, how do we trade lower from there? Like I mentioned, we tap this order block. So if Monday or Tuesday, we sweep this high, get my confirmation to trade, and I'll trade lower. My first target will mainly be at 29,790 as a day trade, intraday trade style. If I will find a swing entry, then I'll hold it all the way till my 28,500 on my live accounts on MT5. But when I'm day trading on futures, I will just set drawn liquidities that will be there, and if I'm making enough money, then that's the whole point. It's not about catching the whole move. So that's very beautiful on NQ. And if you know me for gold, it's very, I think we've hit all our higher time frame targets on gold. I've been bearish on gold since 9th of March with this SMT, and my target was here at 4037, which we swept it out this week or the week before it. Now we've hit all these main drawn liquidities, and we can really get now a big bounce on gold. However, I will focus on what we have now. Is even though this is a nice reversal candle that this week should push higher, we are in a weekly volume imbalance and we are in premium of the range. So yet again, even though I don't think we'll be super bearish, if we get a reaction off of here, I will then trade lower to this daily for value gap at 4,130. However, higher time frame wise, if you weren't buying gold below 4,000, I think that was a good investment opportunity. Now again, if we now somehow reverse this and go lower, I could see gold dropping in the mid 3,500s, so just be wary of that. But I think Q3 will be a good investment opportunity for gold, and as well as Bitcoin when we get into the Bitcoin chart. So if I were to trade this week on gold, I would just be patient and wait. We are clearly in an uptrend. We have these 4-hour order blocks which we reacted off of, but you can see that Monday will most likely take out this Friday's high and then maybe react off of it. Maybe we will take out 4,230 or react from this 4-hour order block right here. Right, so if we react from this order block, you could still sweep it out and then get a rejection, or you can even mark out this candle right here. So we are approaching resistance on gold. So if we get confirmations from there, I will take shorts. And why do I still think shorts? It's because the DXY, I am still bullish on the DXY until we take out this monthly, as soon as we tap this monthly for value gap being at 102. And how will we get there? Same for DXY, very simple. We've tapped this into this weekly for value gap while the euro did not. So we already have a SMT on the weekly time frame. However, on the daily time frame, it's very choppy, and Friday was a bank holiday. So I still think it's possible that we take out Thursday's low right here and then trade higher from there. And that will align as well for my GBP and Euro. You can see they're in consolidation, so I want to sweep out these highs, then go lower. Same for GBP, we can sweep out these highs and go lower. You can see that we did inverse this 4-hour for value gap. So if we start to displace lower on Monday and create gaps, if we can trade away from it, I think we will then stick to the bearish thought process, even though Friday was a bank holiday. So I try to not focus on that Friday. Hopefully we take out Thursday's high and trade lower. It all depends on how Monday trades, right? Okay, that's my thought process. And if you know, also if you were in the Mindfast Discord, I was bearish on Euro since 1.18 until we hit 1.14. So all my drawn liquidities are met. Obviously we can still continue trade lower to below 1.12 or 1.135, but then I do think it's very possible we will start a bullish move to then maybe go back to 1.12 or 1.2. So be wary of that. Be very wary of that. The last but not least is Bitcoin. If you know me, I was heavy Bitcoin. I traded Bitcoin. Took this short at 82.7, closed it at 59. Now you can see we are bouncing from these lows, and I mentioned that Bitcoin is a buying opportunity in terms of it's a long-term buy below 60,000, and we've just been below 60,000 and we are now reacting off 58k. Now is this the low? I can't tell you that yet. The daily is still only broke this relative short-term structure, but I want to really break above these highs to maybe tell you. However, I do think we could definitely see a short-term bounce, right? But if I'm expecting a 1.5k drop on Nasdaq, Bitcoin usually tends to follow. But if Bitcoin's move is low is in, it will not dump and make a new low, even though Nasdaq will make a new low. That's very important because they move together. But if it starts to struggle to move lower while Nasdaq is dropping heavy, that could tell you that Bitcoin low is in, and we can then start our buy cycle towards new all-time highs around 160, 180k in my opinion. So that's why buying below 60k is good investment opportunity, because you could most likely get 2.5 to 3x on your investment, and it's a pretty safe bet. So you can go heavy in size and make 3x your money. Okay, not financial advice obviously, but I've pretty called all tops and bottoms on Bitcoin ever since I started trading. So since the FTX crash, you know, buying here, it's very messy, but buying at 20k and buying this whole move, same thing goes with here. You can see all these trades that I've taken. I've left them on the charts because they're very nice learning opportunities, but you can see all these trades I've taken, mainly winning. You can see I've took the short, then I took the short at 126k, and yeah, just kept taking shorts because we are in a bear cycle, bear market. Same thing here. I probably take 1 or 2 losses trying to take continuations, but nevertheless, I'm super profitable with that. What else? There's not much, to be honest. USD JPY, maybe we have this daily gap. We'll watch into that. I will probably share in the Discord if there's anything on USD JPY, as well as USD CHF, because there are actually opportunities. So form me up for these. So I've already charted it here. I will probably talk about it if I take a setup in the Discord. But yeah, could be bearish, could be bullish. But yeah, we will wait and see what happens there. Yeah, hope you enjoyed these analysis. If you have any questions, do let me know. I'll always be in the Discord. I share trades. It will be a good month, I think, for July. Very, very profitable month incoming. So hope you guys enjoyed this video.